Up in the bulletin this evening.
News360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Former Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu says current impasse in Parliament poses a national security threat as he calls for leadership in Parliament to engage in dialogue.
Also tonight, legislative bodies in Africa urged to prioritize development and reclaim their authority in shaping policies that are for citizens.
Ahead of the December 7 election, some Ghanaians in South Africa say they expect policies that will transform the economy.
And on the international front, dozens of civilians killed and thousands displaced in Sudan's Gezira state after several days of attacks by paramilitary rapid support forces.
We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, all across the world on 3news.com. Where your election command center, and in the details this evening, the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the Bawku Central constituency, Paul Agobiri Alale, has announced suspension of campaign activities over concerns of insecurity. The suspension takes effect immediately. Paul Alale's announcement comes barely 24 hours after the party's parliamentary candidate for Zebila, also in the Kosog area, suspended campaigning over similar security concerns. Bawku, which enjoyed relative peace in the past few months, is now under tension following the lifting of an arrest warrant on a rival Bawku chief and his subsequent entry into the town. Castro Senyala, our correspondent in the Upper East region, reports that several political activities in the town have been cancelled following the latest development. He joins us via Zoom with more details. Castro, good evening to you. Can you provide an overview of the current security situation currently in Bawku?
Good evening, Aisha. Beg your pardon. Yes, Bawku is currently calm. I was there yesterday, and today I've been in touch with almost a lot of people within the township, and I can report that Bawku is currently very calm, except that it is under tension following the latest developments that have negatively impacted the progress that has been made as far as restoring peace to Bawku is concerned. We understand that first of all, the lifting of the arrest warrant on a rival chief of the area has sparked some sort of anger amongst a section of the people. Also, we get the impression that, we get the information that the alleged entry of the rival chief into Bawku has also, sort of added to the already tensed area, and that is why a lot of activities, including political activities, have had to be cancelled because there are concerns that these activities may further plunge the area into a chaos.
So, Castro, how are these security concerns affecting the campaigns of these candidates?
The security concerns are greatly affecting campaign activities. First of all, like the statements that have been issued by the two parliamentary, candidates of the governing New Patriotic Party. There are concerns that if they continue to campaign, they may trigger, they may sort of cause anger, to trigger within the area. Also, the running mate of the NDC, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajimain, was in the region yesterday on a tour, and one of the areas she wanted to visit was the Bawku enclave, but she had to call off the entire activities within the township. She only had to pay homage to the Bawku Naba, where she stressed the need for peace to be restored to the area so that development can come as they want it to. There are also issues of the fact that if you campaign within some sections, you may, if you belong to a certain group, party, political party, or you wear certain political colors and you campaign in certain suburbs of the Bawku municipality, you may not be safe.
So, Castro, how are constituents reacting to all of this? You know, the unrest in Bawku, the suspension of campaign activities. What have they been telling you?
Right. So yesterday, I was able to interact with a few constituents who have been sharing their views with me off camera. And the concern is that, this is going to sort of derail the peace that is being achieved. Aisha, let me say that it appears that majority of residents in the Bawku municipality want peace after so long or a time of fighting among the two factions. And so both sides, members of both sides, want peace to be restored. But then happenings continue to derail that. And so for them, they feel that if this is going to continue, the conflict may rob them of their civic responsibility of choosing leaders for the area and then for the country. And for that matter, they wish that some of these things will be trashed as immediately as possible before they de-escalate into full-blown chaos.
I don't know if you've been able to speak to any of the security agencies, whether you know there are some safety measures being put in place to ensure that these political activities can resume.
Right, Aisha, let me quickly put in that as for security measures in Bawku, I would say security measures are in place. The military and the police and other sister agencies such as the BNI are fully in place. I have contacts within all of these setups, and I can report that they are everywhere, especially the military. They are almost in every corner, ensuring that there is peace. If you compare the past years and what we are enjoying now, you realize that the efforts of these security agencies, the military, the police, and other sister agencies is what is leading to this. Also, like I stated earlier on, the people seem to want peace, and so they are also putting efforts to see how best peace can be achieved. But latest developments seem to go against that. And another thing too is that security agencies are concerned that if this issue is not tackled once and for all, looking at the fact that we are just about to enter an election, it may be problematic. But all the same, they continue to give their best, do what they can to ensure that peace is restored. And so 2 days ago, when there were gunfire, the widespread gunfire in some suburbs of the Bawku municipality, the security was able to ensure that some of these things were nipped as early as possible so that they don't escalate.
Thank you, Castro, for that update. We're glad that there's calm currently in the Bawku constituency, and I'm sure we're keeping an eye on that, and then we'll bring viewers more as and when we get that. Castro Sanyala is our Upper East Regional Correspondent.
In more news tonight, President Akufo-Addo has assured Ghanaians that the government, in partnership with the Electoral Commission, security forces and key stakeholders, is committed to creating a secure and inclusive environment for the December 7 elections. The Member of Parliament for Asukwa, Patricia Apieje, read a speech on his behalf, and she did that at the Second General Assembly of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Legislatures in Accra.
This year, Ghana stands at a critical juncture as we approach our upcoming elections. In this election year, I want to reaffirm my government's absolute commitment to ensuring that these elections are conducted peacefully, transparently, and with the utmost respect for the democratic rights of every Ghanaian. Ghana has long stood as a beacon of democracy on our continent, and it is our collective duty to maintain this legacy for generations to come. And I call upon all Ghanaians, regardless of background or political affiliation, to join us in this commitment to peace. The government of Ghana, in collaboration with the Electoral Commission, security agencies, and all relevant stakeholders, will create an environment in which all citizens can participate in the electoral process without fear, intimidation, or interference. We understand that free, fair, and peaceful elections are not merely a reflection of governmental integrity.
Ahead of the December 7 election, some Ghanaians living in South Africa say they expect policies that will transform the economy and make the country conducive for their return. Life in South Africa appears more profitable than staying in Ghana as economic challenges continue to push citizens abroad in search of better opportunities. Michael Obodu reports from Cape Town, South Africa.
Ekria Tutuwa is a Ghanaian hairdresser who has lived in South Africa for over a decade. She says her decision to relocate was driven purely by economic factors.
Someone introduced me to app job opportunities in South Africa, and I accepted because life was a bit difficult for me here in Ghana.
She is not alone. Many Ghanaians who have migrated to South Africa share similar experiences, citing the economic difficulties back home as the main reason for leaving.
Cape Town is like you are in Europe. Everything works well. Security is top. The economy is growing. Jobs are created, and you get people coming from other provinces to come and work here because they don't create jobs here, but here we create jobs.
Here, when you are selling even this key, and you said 1,000, they started like Yusumami. He will buy because he has money. He's working.
Over the past few years, the Ghanaian cedi has depreciated at a concerning rate, while inflation hit record levels and fuel costs surged. For these migrants, Ghana's economic situation remains a source of concern.
South Africa, I go school. Now, I see a friend the grade 12. I don't know Ghana university, not to 5 years, 10 years, no money.
While there are many job opportunities for high school graduates in South Africa, university graduates are struggling to get decent jobs in Ghana.
As Ghana heads into the 2024 elections, some of these Ghanaians in South Africa are sharing their hopes for the future. Key among their concerns are issues related to jobs and healthcare.
One thing I want to
tell the current government or the incoming is that here in South Africa, basic healthcare is free of charge.
I have no expectation, because Ghanaians that get to the voting booth might decide differently from what they have heard from campaigns. So for me, whichever government comes to power, look after the people, as simple as that.
If Mama is bringing 24 hours economy, I think it will be of help, because anybody who come out from school will get something to do. Those who are living in the village area know nothing about digitalization.
However, they still hope the entire electoral process will be peaceful.
We don't want to be outside the country and hear that there's a lot of hooliganism, going on down there in our country, and people will be asking you, what is going on in your country? Why this, why that, why that? Because there are also other foreigners here who will want to know what is going on in your country.
For many Ghanaians living abroad, an improvement in the economy would be a crucial factor for their decision to return home. They say they will be closely watching how the upcoming election shapes Ghana's future.
Michael Obodu, 3 Business, Cape Town, South Africa.
And back here in Ghana, the president of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs has urged the Electoral Commission to proactively engage stakeholders to foster peace ahead of the December 7 elections. Nana Sakite, who also is the paramount chief of the Manya Krobo traditional area, was addressing the Mayem Festival Deba at Odumase in the Eastern region.
This year's election poses significant challenges as the various political parties are using various tactics that could spark violence. I'm therefore calling on the Electoral Commission to take proactive measures, including stakeholder engagement with international NGOs, civil societies, groups, and security services to ensure a peaceful elections and transparency before, during, and after this coming elections.
And now the Electoral Commission has announced a change regarding the printing of ballots for the upcoming elections in the Oti and Western North regions. In a letter addressed to relevant stakeholders, Deputy Chairman Samuel Tete noted that Nyasako Printing Press Limited, originally contracted for this task, will no longer be printing the presidential and parliamentary ballots for these regions. Instead, Back Printing Limited has been assigned to print the ballots for the Oti region, while Acts Commercial Limited will handle the printing for the Western North region. The Electoral Commission emphasized this change comes as part of the Commission's ongoing efforts to ensure a smooth electoral process as the nation approaches the election dates. The Electoral Commission assured it remains committed to transparency and efficiency in all electoral operations.
All right, so let's go to this story that many of you have been talking about on social media, congratulating Ghana's Shirley Ayokoboche, who has been named the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Now, in the following story, comes across as that she won after beating competition from two key people, and she has acknowledged the Commonwealth's untapped potential and her commitment to the organization's future. Shirley Ayokoboche acknowledged the responsibility ahead, vowing to lead the Commonwealth towards greater inclusivity and shared progress. She becomes the first Ghanaian and second African to hold this office. Her election took place at the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Apia, the capital city of the Pacific Island nation of Samoa. Shirley Ayokoboche will take over from Patricia Scotland. Ghana's foreign minister emerged as the preferred candidate after competing with Senator Joshua Setipa of Lesotho and Dr. Mamadou Tangara of the Gambia. In her bid, she expressed a vision of harnessing the collective power of the Commonwealth's 2.7 billion citizens for shared growth and resilience. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo of the Republic of Ghana has emphasized that her vision of inclusivity and progress will inspire the Commonwealth family and guide it towards a future marked by hope and unity. And from all of us here, especially the foreign affairs correspondents, we say a big congratulations to Shirley Ayokoboche, who is now the Secretary General of the Commonwealth.
To some more news this evening, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagben's decision to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant has led to a legal battle and heightened political tension. As the House adjourns indefinitely due to a lack of quorum, plans for a recall are underway, while a private citizen has challenged the validity of the Speaker's declaration. Here's a News Desk report.
The decision by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagben, to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant led NPP caucus leader Alexander Penyumakin to approach the Supreme Court with an ex-parte injunction. The Supreme Court directed the Speaker of Parliament to stay his decision pending the final determination of the matter. On Tuesday, October 22, when the House resumed, the leader of the NPP caucus had this to say.
We will not give them that theater they so aggressively seek. This to disrupt democracy and to destroy our nation. We believe that the appropriate thing is to quietly yield to them and wait upon Mr. Speaker.
The Speaker adjourned Parliament indefinitely as the House lacks the numbers to take a decision.
In view of the current circumstances, the fact that there is a question on the composition and constitution of Parliament, and having regard to the public interest and the exigencies of the state of affairs in Parliament.
The Second General Assembly of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Legislatures has opened with a clear call for African lawmakers to take a more assertive role in governance focused on development. Former Speaker of Parliament Professor Aaron Mike Okoye and Speaker Alban Bagbin underscored the urgent need for legislative bodies to prioritize development and reclaim their authority in shaping policies that affect citizens.
Former Speaker Professor Aaron Mike Okoye opened the discussions by advocating for a renewed focus on development among African legislators, emphasizing the importance of collaboration to effectively tackle the pressing challenges facing the continent.
Some time ago, our important issue was how best we could decolonize the continent of Africa. Then the period came when we decided upon democratization of Africa. I believe the time has come when we must realign towards development again.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin bemoaned the limitations imposed by the legal frameworks in many African countries, which often leave parliamentarians with restricted power. He noted that legislative bodies must play a more significant role in shaping policies that directly impact citizens.
We should be seen as part of the arrowheads of governance in our various countries. And as representatives of the people, our parliaments cannot sit aloof or operate on the fringes of the efforts to combat these challenges. We must be at the center of those efforts if we are to meet the needs and aspirations of the people we represent.
He also raised concerns about the perception that parliaments are subservient to the executive branch, asserting that all arms of government should operate on equal footing. By reinforcing the legislative role in shaping policies and agreements, Bagbin underscored the necessity of lawmakers to be fully engaged in the legislative process, particularly when it comes to international treaties and agreements that impact their constituents.
The three arms of government are equal. And that is the only way that equality, with the additional oversight given to Parliament, gives us the energy to be able to oversee what the presidents do. So if we are subservient to our presidents, then you cannot hold our presidents to account by the various legal frameworks in our countries. When they go into their conferences and append their signatures to agreements, to treaties, to protocols, and they bring them to our parliaments, our hands are usually tied.
Delivering a speech on behalf of President Kufuor, a member of Parliament, Fuasokwa, Patricia Piaget highlighted the potential for the gathering to create solutions that propel Africa into a new era of democratic strength, socio-economic development and political harmony.
We bring together wisdom, vision, and a unified commitment to create solutions that will propel Africa into a new era of democratic strength, socio-economic development, and political harmony.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. So we'll bring you again the story having to do with the debacle in Parliament, the confusion between the minority and the minority, or the majority and the majority, and the Speaker's decision to declare 4 seats vacant. Someone has also gone to court to injunct the Speaker from recalling Parliament, where we are told that the NPP is gathering signatures to force the Speaker to recall Parliament. All of that in a quick report when we return from this break.
Before that, you can also stay informed with us if you follow us on 3news.com, on Instagram, 3news.gh on Instagram. We'll give you all the code cards, all of the videos, all of the stories. You find them on there on 3news.gh on Instagram. So follow us right now. We'll be right back.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawku, #1 on the ballot.
You know, 1 bucket of flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply
Mama, stop worrying. How is Kobna? I got some of his medication. His friends are raising funds to support us.
The kidney disease has taken the toll. But my son and our finances.
Mama, there is hope. The pharmacist told me about Mahama's policies on chronic diseases. John Mahama is going to establish the Mahama Cares Fund to support Ghanaians with kidney diseases, sickle cell, cancer, diabetes, hypertension and other heart conditions to support and ease the financial burden on families like ours. Mama, but that is not all. Ghanaians can access free health care when they go to the CHIPS compound, health centers, clinics and polyclinics. Mama, we have to vote wisely for Kobne's sake. Mama, wipe your tears. Wipe your tears. Mahama cares.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Darling natural twists blend with her hair over time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's really more beautiful every week. Darling natural twists get better every day, just like you.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawku, #1 on the ballot.
Results.
Thank you for staying with us on News 360. Now let's bring you that Parliament story. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman's decision to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant has led to a legal battle and heightened political tensions. As the House adjourns indefinitely due to a lack of quorum, plans for a recall are underway, while a private citizen has challenged the validity of the Speaker's declaration. Let's bring you the full story.
The decision by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagman, to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant led NPP caucus leader Alexander Penyumakin to approach the Supreme Court with an ex-parte injunction. The Supreme Court directed the Speaker of Parliament to stay his decision pending the final determination of the matter. On Tuesday, October 22, when the House resumed, the leader of the NPP caucus had this to say.
We will not give them that theater they so aggressively seek. This will disrupt democracy and to destroy our nation. We believe that the appropriate thing is to quietly yield to them and wait upon Mr. Speaker.
The Speaker adjourned Parliament indefinitely as the House lacks the numbers to take a decision.
In view of the current circumstances, the fact that there is a question on the composition and constitution of Parliament, and having regard to the public interest and the exigencies of the state of affairs in Parliament, I will proceed to, in accordance with Standing Orders 59, adjourn the House indefinitely.
The leadership of the NPP caucus then announced plans to trigger the recall of the House pursuant to Article 112, Clause 3 of the Constitution and Order 53 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The NDC caucus appears resolute in defending the Speaker's decision.
This attempt to use the judiciary to gag us and to push us aside, I can assure you, it will not happen. Not under our watch. It won't happen in Parliament. And we know what we are doing in Parliament. We have our strategies. We won't put it here. But if anybody thinks that they can use some rough tactics to eliminate us, I can assure you, we remain resolute, we remain very firm and committed, and will do what is right and proper to serve this country.
Former Majority Leader Oseche Mensah-Bonsu wants leadership in Parliament to engage the Speaker to resolve the controversy.
Nothing can take the place of further engagement. That's George Orwell by this. What is happening has serious national security implications. The Majority Leader has, caused signatures to be appended for a recall. If you want to be technical about that, he has 7 days within which to act. And then I think another 7 days by our new rules, which will take it to about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so. What happens in the meantime? Does it mean that if those CIs come, they will not mature before the conduct of the elections? We should be thinking of the national interest. That's why I'm saying that it's important to further engage.
Meanwhile, a private citizen has filed a suit at the High Court, praying the court to validate Speaker Bagben's declaration of 4 seats vacant. Benjamin Yemo Tete wants the High Court to stop the 4 MPs whose seats were declared vacant by the Speaker from holding themselves out as MPs until the case is determined. He also filed a separate suit preventing Speaker Bagben from recalling the House. Speaking on the key points, Executive Director of Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Draman, says there should be ways for members of Parliament to dialogue on their disagreements.
What we are seeing now is that the least challenge, then people will run to the court. The least challenge, people would start invoking the rules. It's fine, but it simply means that tomorrow when somebody is not pleased, they will just invoke the rule just to frustrate.
For lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Law, Dr. Justice Sremsai, stakeholders should be concerned that the courts can't stop issues pending before Parliament.
At the time of the order, the 4 MPs were effectively, ousted. They've vacated. They've been declared. The seats have been declared vacant. So, if you want to reverse it, that will require a parliamentary decision. Even if the Speaker wanted a decision to implement the ruling or the directive of the Supreme Court, which is the reversal, it couldn't have happened because the Speaker himself is not. The Speaker doesn't take decision in Parliament unless there is a tie. The only way the Speaker comes is when there is a tie. But beyond that, it is the members of Parliament who have the power to legislate.
It awaits to be seen how these cases in court will pan out.
Tomato farmers in the Brekum West district of the Bono region are calling for improved irrigation systems to enhance their production. The farmers expressed frustration over the importation of tomatoes from neighboring communities, urging government to support them boost production.
Ghana produces approximately 300,000 metric tons of tomatoes annually. Tomato farming in the country is primarily seasonal, with peak harvest occurring from January to March. However, the variability in production often leads to supply gaps that are filled by imports. Ghana spends around $400 million each year to import fresh tomatoes, mainly from Burkina Faso. The Bono region is known for its large-scale tomato cultivation, with the Brekum West district recognized by significant tomato production. Key communities such as the Fetenta, Kuraso, Abensiri, Pruso and Jinijini contribute to this effort, with over 5,000 farmers engaged in the industry. Despite their efforts, farmers report challenges in accessing water, especially during the dry season. They believe that the provision of mechanized boreholes and mini dams would significantly enhance their production capacity.
The road leading to our farms is in a deplorable state, and our efforts to repair it ourselves have been insufficient. We urgently require government intervention to address this issue.
We urge the government to provide water and solar pump to support farm irrigation.
The National Vice Chairman of the Tomato Farmers Association of Ghana emphasizes that government support is crucial for increasing local production and reducing reliance on imports.
In so try ya kwani adwuma ba wiye. Sa bere na nte sign to na 70 million no. Afi wan hwe yi a. Ye be sa tonto se baburu be 80 million.
During the dry season, our work grinds to a halt, leading to price hikes. We need government intervention to mitigate the issue and prevent price increases.
In 2021, the government commissioned a tomato processing factory as part of the One District, One Factory initiative. Unfortunately, the factory is currently shut down due to financial constraints. Tomato farmers in the Brekum West District are calling on the government to revitalize the factory to help alleviate unemployment in the area.
To some health stories now, more than 6,700 deaths are recorded in Ghana each year as a result of tobacco use, leading to an estimated mortality cost of 371 million cedis, as reported by the Ghana Health Service. Vision for Alternative Development has called for an increment in the sale of tobacco products following the implementation of the Excise Duty Amendment Act 1108. Safo Abuahin has more in this report.
Non-communicable diseases (NCDs), including heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes and chronic lung disease, are collectively responsible for 74% of all deaths worldwide, and tobacco use is one major risk factor. Alarmingly, 33% of males, 35% of females and 40% of children who don't smoke are still exposed to second-hand smoke, which increases their risk of stroke by 20 to 30%. This reality paints a grave picture of the life-altering consequences of tobacco, affecting not just those who smoke, but entire families and communities. Smoking tobacco in Ghana incurs significant costs related to healthcare and productivity losses due to early death and illness. To address this economic burden, research has proven that implementing taxation on tobacco products is essential.
It is the responsibility of the government to make sure that the citizens are actually healthy. And government does this by imposing taxes on certain goods that it considers harmful. Hence the introduction of health taxes on them. We call them the excise taxes. So until 2023, we had different rates for these taxes because the purpose of the taxes is to reduce consumption of those products.
At a stakeholder meeting to assess the implementation of the Excise Duty Amendment Act 1108, the Executive Director of Programs at Vowed Ghana urged a review and increase in tobacco product prices to enhance the accessibility and reduce affordability.
Our observation, we also prefer that the prices in the market is becoming a bit more affordable. So the government should review the excise taxes. They also urge the GRA should also consider the fact that once people's income increases, they should quickly adjust the prices of tobacco products. We are going to target Ministry of Finance. The GRA considers our proposal to up it a bit.
The head of Tobacco and Substances of Abuse Directorate (FDA) and focal person for tobacco control in Ghana addressed several misconceptions and outlined FDA's efforts in the tobacco use.
We do a lot of monitoring to raid the market of the unregistered products, those who will not have FDA requirements, as well as those who will not have the tax stamps. And so those products will be comparatively cheaper, and that will defeat the purposes of introducing a tax regime. So we routinely go to the market to raid the market of all these unregistered products without tax stamps as well, with the support of GRA and the police.
Safo Abuahin, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, the Ghana Health Service is set to embark on a nationwide deworming campaign to combat schistosomiasis and soil-transmitted worm infections. These two significant health challenges are set to be threatening the well-being of school-aged children across the country.
The exercise targeting children aged 5 to 15
aims to reduce the burden of these infections that compromise children's health, development, and educational attainment. Schistosomiasis is caused by parasitic worms found in contaminated water. Symptoms include fever, cough, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. It affects 23.3% of the Ghanaian population, with some regions reporting prevalence rates as high as 50%. School-aged children are particularly vulnerable due to the frequent contact with soil and water sources, often contaminated, making them highly susceptible to infection.
This initiative is a collaborative effort between the Ghana Health Service and the Ghana Education Service to promote the health and immunity of school-aged children. The World Health Organization estimates that nearly 1 in 4 of the world population, or over 1.5 billion people globally, are infested with the intestinal worms, with more than 880 million school-aged children requiring attention. In Ghana, schistosomiasis has an estimated countrywide prevalence of 23.3%, with localized prevalence level exceeding 15%. This is serious.
And now to some good news. TV3's multimedia journalist Stanley Niblo has been adjudged the fisheries reporter at the Maiden Responsible Fishing Awards by the United States Agency for International Development. Stanley is among 27 individuals who received recognition for his sterling storytelling and contribution to responsible fishing practices.
27 fisher folks and landing beach committees were awarded for their immense contribution. The awards was organized by USAID in partnership with the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture Development and the Fisheries Commission. The Voja community in the Volta region was adjudged the best landing beach. Edward Tete Amesimeku grabbed the most responsible fisher, with Joanna Kweku taking away the most responsible fishing processor of the year. The maiden award ceremony also recognized Media General's multimedia journalist Stanley Niblo as the 2024 Best Fishery Reporter of the Year.
There are so many journalists that are deserving of this particular category or this award, but there's one journalist that has stood out. He's gone undercover, he's risked his life to bring out fisheries stories. And we would want to recognize this person under the Best Fisheries Reporter category. And it is in the person of Stanley Niblo of Media General.
This particular sector is a very important one because it is part of the blue economy. And according to the World Bank, global economies have the potential to make between $3 to $6 trillion annually from the blue economy. However, when you take the fisheries sector alone, the use of illegal fishing methods for fishing tend to threaten the marine space. As a journalist, positioning yourself to tell stories of this nature to be recognized is just fulfilling.
Executive Director of the Fisheries Commission, who represented the sector minister, emphasized the need for good fishery practices for industry sustenance. Director in charge of USAID Ghana Economic Growth Office is Andrew Reed.
In total, USAID has invested approximately $58 million in Ghana's fisheries over the last 15 years. Our goal has always been to promote high-quality fish for Ghanaians while supporting coastal communities to preserve marine populations for future generations.
Last year, USAID committed $140 million to support Ghana's economic growth in the areas of agriculture, health, education, and governance. Another $24 million was channeled into the restoration of Ghana's coastal fisheries and improved ocean conservation.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we have the latest in the world of sports with Bill Bishop.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawku #1 on the ballot.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawku, #1 on the ballot.
The news never stops. If it's not breaking, developing, the news lends itself to significant analysis, broad context through explainers, and the features that give stories more life. That's what we offer on Weekend Central. News, features, analysis, the full package. Weekend Central, Saturdays and Sundays at 12 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News360. My name is Bill Ishen. Now on to our first story. Since November 2023, the Ghana Premier League has been without a headline sponsor after Betpower withdrew their sponsorship to focus on locker room bonuses. In the last few months, stakeholders have consistently asked and waited for a new headline sponsor. GFA's head of public relations and strategy, Neil Armstrong-Mortagbe, speaking on Warm Up Plus early on Saturday, reviewed a possible solution to this problem.
So you talk about a headline sponsor. Who wouldn't want the sponsor of the league so that our clubs can get some relief? The relief that the clubs get from the sponsorship is not there as it is. The FA then commits some of its resources to supporting the clubs as far as the strict code of applying those funds would allow, and continues to look for sponsors. One of the strategies we are looking at is getting a consortium of sponsors. So if one company cannot take the headline sponsorship, let's give a little bit here, a little bit there, so they become a consortium. You may not call them headline sponsor, but you call them a consortium of sponsors or partners of the Premier League. And that work is definitely going on. The FA has shown, this FA has shown that it has the capacity to do this. For it not to be happening now is part of the factors are what I'm speaking to. Yeah. The other part of the factor is the commentary that goes on around our football. Right, sometimes also deters persons who may want to support. There are some companies, though, who say, okay, fine, they made this negative commentary, but we want to be part or support you to improve the narrative. And that is where they would come in and say, because we want to improve the narrative, we'll support. So at the level of the national game, we are looking at getting a consortium of sponsors to support the.
Moving on, Manchester City went back to the top of the Premier League as Erling Haaland's early efforts proved enough to beat a struggling Southampton side.
Event began at the forecourt of Akuma FM and ran through Kumasi's main streets before concluding at the Babayara Stadium. As a new element to this year's program, the top 9 senior high schools in the Ashanti region in terms of athletics thrilled the large crowd with a very competitive relay medley battle. In the men's marathon, David Nakosi of the Upper West region was named champion. Noah Womborich of the Bono East region came second, and Ishmael Fialo of Greater Accra finished third. David Nakosi, the men's event champion, had this to say.
Oh, it was cool. The whole of this year, I was not able to run any 21 kilometers. This is my first time running 21 in this year. Last year, I was able to finish with 21 kilometers twice.
Janet Moha of Kenya won the ladies' 21-kilometer marathon, while Sharifa Moro of Our Lady of Grace Senior High School finished second. Elizabeth J. from the University of Ghana was the second runner-up. St. Louis Senior High School won the ladies' division of the relay medley category, followed by Kumasi Anglican Senior High School in second place and Okes in third. Janet Moha tells us how she won the event.
Much competition, and because of the next year Swazonas and inter-schools competition, that's why we are trying our best, and we mean we can do it and we will do it again.
Okes won the boys relay medley, Owas took second, and Armed Forces Senior High Technical School finished third. Ransford Nana Asari, the general manager of Akuma FM, was thrilled by the level of participation and encouraged business sponsors to join.
And personally, this is my first experience with it, but I must tell you, I'm excited about everything that I've seen here. The participation has been very great. If you look at the schools, the excitement that came with it, it only gives me the assurance that once we step up our game and we are able to put it at the level that we want, this will become a national event. And I mean, trust me, once you are part of us, you get all the results that you want.
By way of updates in the El Clasico, the match between Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's currently half-time and the scoreline is 0-0. That brings an end to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Leshen. Entertainment is up next.
In entertainment news tonight, the Ghana Tourism Authority has successfully hosted the 2024 National Tourism Awards, celebrating innovation and excellence within the industry. The annual event recognizes outstanding practitioners and institutions that have significantly contributed to the growth and development of Ghana's tourism sector.
Welcome to Ghana, where nature is incredible.
From breathtaking landscapes to the rich cultural experiences, Ghana's tourism industry continues to thrive, and these awards aim to honor those who play a pivotal role in its success.
Tour operators, transport providers, restaurateurs, and hoteliers all contribute to the larger tourism experience.
Instituted in 1997, the 2024 National Tourism Awards brought together stakeholders, industry experts and enthusiasts, fostering a spirit of collaboration and motivation among participants. It serves as a reminder of the importance of recognizing the hard work and dedication that underpins this vital sector.
To the tourism industry by naming you the Tour Guide of the Year, Ayeko Mr. Fuseni Nawari.
In all, 26 practitioners and institutions with 8 honorary were celebrated for their remarkable contributions that drive the country's tourism in the year under review.
I would say I'm very happy and I'm humble for this awards. A big food creator space here in Ghana, and I've been awarded by the National Tourism Awards for Digital Tourism Icon of the year. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that has supported me. I really, really appreciate it, and I say God bless you.
Akwesi Ajaman is the CEO of the Ghana tourism industry.
We know that the work that we do as a public sector body culminates in what the also private sector does. So it's a partnership, and anytime we have such partnership, we need to encourage each other. And so we're here to encourage them, reward them. And before tonight, we've done 17 series of awards throughout the regions. Every region has done their regional awards, and the combination is what we are doing at the national level. And today I will say everybody who has won an award deserves it. We've also highlighted the fact that innovation is critical. In this global competitive market that we are in, AI is disrupting a lot of models, and so people have to lift their game and be ready for the next level.
Nature is everywhere, and the people are warm. Go beyond to a home far from home.
And you definitely need to visit Ghana if you're watching us from elsewhere around the world. Talking about international stories, here's a wrap of what's happening elsewhere.
Dozens of civilians have been killed and thousands displaced in Sudan's Gezira state, aid group said after several days of attacks by the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF. A union of doctors and a youth group said the RSF attacked several villages and towns in the east-central state of Gezira, looting and vandalizing public and private properties and leaving dozens dead. Since September, the Sudanese Armed Forces SAF have been pursuing a major offensive to retake areas in and around the capital Khartoum from the control of the RSF. Sudan plunged into conflict in April 2023 when long-simmering tensions between Army Chief Abdel Fattah and RSF leader Mohamed Hamdan broke out. The conflict has so far displaced more than 10 million people, according to data from the United Nations, and created one of the worst global humanitarian crises. Israel has launched airstrikes on Iran with blasts heard in the capital, Tehran. In response, Iran's foreign ministry say the country has a right to defend itself. Military bases in the west and southwest of the Iranian capital were targeted, according to an Iranian news agency close to the country's Revolutionary Guards. Iranian state media says 2 soldiers were killed. Both were members of the Iranian army, not the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. The Israel Defense Forces said the strikes are in response to months of continuous attacks from Iran and after a barrage of Iranian missiles hit Israel on October 1. President Vladimir Putin says it is Russia's business whether or not it decides to use North Korean troops, and said that if Ukraine wanted to join NATO, then Moscow could do what it wanted to ensure its own security. The United States said on Wednesday that it had seen evidence that North Korea has sent 3,000 troops to Russia for possible deployment in Ukraine, a move that the West is casting as a significant escalation of the Ukrainian war.
Well, that's how we bring the bulletin to a close, but be reminded that if you want to be on top of all the big stories happening in Ghana and you are social, do follow us on Instagram like it's on your screen now, 3news.gh on Instagram. We have all the videos that are trending in Ghana and the ones that you've not heard of, and all the big stories happening in Ghana and around the world right at the on your phones at your fingertips, and you will also be able to have a conversation with your friends and colleagues because you are in the know. Do stay with us.
Well, that's it for News 360 tonight. My name is Aisha Yakubu Khalid.
And I am Martin Asiedu Date. Do have a good evening. Showbiz 360 is right after the news. Bye.